The courtroom was thick with tension as Officer Caleb Johnson fixed his cold, unflinching gaze ahead, his hand pressed firmly against the Bible while taking the stand. His tone steady, almost rehearsed, "Your Honor, I saw her. Jessica Turner was there." At the scene, her hands drenched in blood, and she stood with the knife over the body across the room. Jessica sat, her eyes locked on his every word, striking her like a blow to the chest, but she didn't tremble. Fear never touched her veins. Instead, it was fury that burned through her. This wasn't just a trial. It was her battle for truth. Jessica knew Officer Johnson was lying. What he didn't realize was that she wasn't some ordinary woman being accused. She was an FBI agent, and she would never let him shatter her life with a fabricated charge. How did it come to this? How did Jessica Turner, an agent respected by colleagues, find herself accused of a crime she hadn't committed? The reason was simple. Johnson wasn't only a crooked cop, he was tied to a ruthless criminal network framing Jessica for murder to silence her, to stop her from uncovering the corruption rotting the very system she had sworn to protect. As the trial pressed forward, Jessica understood the stakes reached far beyond her freedom. This was about justice itself. Not only for her, but for the truth she had devoted her career to upholding. Countless criminals had been caged by her work, but now she was the one in shackles, and the betrayal cut deepest because it was Johnson, someone she had once trusted, who sought to ruin her. She had given everything to fighting corruption, yet now that same system was being turned against her. Her reputation, her career, her freedom, everything was on the line. But while Johnson's testimony dragged on, Jessica spotted the cracks. His account of the crime scene didn't match reality, vague, inconsistent, almost like a script rehearsed too many times. Jessica knew it was her moment. "Officer Johnson," she said, rising, her voice sharp and commanding, "what exactly was I wearing when you supposedly saw me at that crime scene?" He faltered, eyes darting around the court. "I can't remember exactly." He stuttered, his sure voice now trembling. It was dark. It all happened so fast, Jessica's pulse quickened. This was the opening. He couldn't even recall the simplest details. Her defense attorney, Tom, seized it. "Your Honor, we moved to present the security footage from around the crime scene. It could reveal the truth." The judge permitted it, and soon the room fell silent as the footage rolled. The timestamp confirmed Jessica's alibi. She was in her office miles away when Johnson claimed she stood at the murder site. It was impossible, but even more telling, the forensic evidence was airtight. The blood on the knife wasn't hers. The DNA belonged to the victim. And yet Johnson clung to his lie, claiming the footage could be manipulated. Jessica's team was ready. The tape had been authenticated by experts and cross-checked against multiple sources. It was real. Then the decisive blow came when lab results were unveiled. The blood didn't match Jessica's DNA, but the fingerprints on the weapon did belong to someone. One of Johnson's fellow officers, within his corrupt ring. That was when Jessica made her revelation. "Your Honor," she said, voice steady but heavy with truth, "I am not simply a defendant. I am an FBI agent, investigating a network of corrupt police officers. Johnson is part of it, and he is lying to shield himself and his partners who have bribed officials, tampered with evidence, and covered their crimes." The courtroom gasped. Her words were a bombshell. But this time they were backed with undeniable proof. Still, the trial weighed heavily. The public already saw her as guilty. Her reputation within law enforcement cracked. Even the FBI hesitated in their trust, and late nights alone, Jessica asked herself, would the truth be enough to save her? What if no one believed her? What if she lost everything? Then a message lit up her phone from her FBI partner, Jessica. "We found more. Johnson's network runs deep. We have audio tapes of his meetings with Dirty Officer." Shop sparked. But the fight wasn't over. The recordings revealed Johnson and his partners discussing bribes and cover-ups, irrefutable evidence. No room for denial anymore. Jessica stood once more in court, eyes fixed on Johnson. "Your Honor, the evidence is clear. The footage, the forensic tests, the recordings all prove my innocence and expose Johnson's lies." Johnson's face drained pale as his web unraveled. He tried to fight, but the truth had already won. Within weeks, Johnson was arrested, facing perjury, obstruction, and conspiracy charges, his network dismantled. The FBI launching a deep probe into the rot in its own ranks. Jessica's name was cleared, But her faith in the system carried scars. She had fought and exposed the truth, but now wondered just how broken the structure she had served truly was outside. The courthouse, she breathed in the air, relief mingled with sadness. The fight had left marks, but she had prevailed. Her phone buzzed again from her partner. "We're not done yet." "Jessica, keep fighting." A faint smile tugged at her lips. The road ahead was far from over, but she was ready. She had endured betrayal and lies, yet truth stood victorious, and as long as she had strength, she would keep pushing. Have you ever been forced to fight for truth when it seemed like the whole world was against you? How did you endure the wait, and what lessons did it leave behind? Share your story in the comments below. I'd love to hear it.